before I introduce people, Jim knows that's a fantasy, but at the same time I will try to keep it brief. I would like to share a couple of things that are relevant. And last year I gave an analogy very briefly about when you lose someone, especially who is very active in your life. Jeremy was living at home while finishing his college. It's like being at a symphony and you close your eyes for a moment and you open your eyes, and the string section is gone. Everyone else is playing, oblivious to that. But over time, through the course of the concert, people come back on stage, pick up their instruments, and by the time it's over, there's a whole new symphony, but it's different. It'll never be the same. That's an analogy I've used, developed myself of dealing with a loss like this. And you'll see where that comes in just a moment. Jeremy died, as they said, September 10th, 2009. July of 2008, he came home from his second summer of Officer Candidate School, just before 4th of July. Let us know on Sunday he was getting married, flew to Boston, married his fiancée who was going to school at Northeastern. He came back home. In December she came and lived with us for several months. They lived together 9 months, and she left about a week before he died. At that point he had been commissioned. He was going to go to the basic school, which is officer training school, followed by flight school. Probably in September or so of 2014, following flight school, they were going to have a wedding and invite a reception, invite everybody 5 years after the original wedding date. They were going to start a family around that time. Okay? God had other plans. Part of the video was my wife said, there are no accidents with God. What didn't make in the video was my response, which was, he wasn't supposed to be on that flight. He should have been finished with his reserves, etc. And how do you reconcile that? And I don't, but God can. Okay? And the legacy that this scholarship is promoting, again, it is to promote the gospel, extend the gospel. But those seats on the stage, some of those seats of the string section are being filled, have been filled over the years by the scholarship recipients. Several of them are here tonight. Gary Templeton, Melanie Kafka, and someone else I forgot. Please forgive me. It'll come back to me later. But it's been a blessing to be able to help people, to encourage people who have had setbacks and have said, I had a setback, but God has given me a second chance. I could use some financial help. But while I'm doing these things, I'm also helping people. I'm ministering to others as part of the criteria for the scholarship. So it is a great pleasure to be able every year to be a part of this ceremony. It's very special to us that the scholarship is given this prominence in this event. So now I will move on before the grace runs out for my extended speech here. So we have 4 recipients this year. One of them is not able to be with us. There will be pictures on the screen here as we do it. I'm going to ask the 3 recipients who are here to each come up and stand to my right as we'll finish up when you're all up here. So Shelley Germain is our first recipient. She was a recipient last term. Shelley lives in Orlando, could not be with us tonight, but she shares her story that 1 year ago her mother went through a difficult divorce, and Shelley had to step in to take care of her younger siblings, including a 5-year-old brother. Faced with this new financial responsibility, Shelley had to put her education on the back burner, and all of her funds went toward supporting the family. The Second Chance Scholarship gives Shelley the chance to continue her education while meeting her new family demands. So our first recipient, a round of applause please for Shelley. Our second recipient grew up in a broken home with no age of 16, he began selling and using drugs. He lost all of his sports scholarships and barely got through high school. This was followed by arrest, wasted days and nights behind bars, losing friends, and his biological father to a drug overdose, and escaping death several times. But he moved here to this area to change his life and began a new career in the boat industry, but he had an accident that severed his left hand. He underwent numerous surgeries and therapy, but he never gave up. He volunteers at a local elementary school, assists at a drug abuse center, and serves youth at his local church. And I'd like to ask you to recognize our second recipient, Brian Daviano. Our third recipient, Jonathan, in his own words, Jonathan King. On Thursday, October 6, 2011, I had the MRI. My wife and I were called into the doctor's office to go over the test results. The doctor proceeded to inform us that I have a brain tumor. This diagnosis finally provided us with the medical answers we've been in search of for years. We proceeded with recommended treatment, plan of radiation therapy. The cost of this treatment was tremendous, and ultimately we lost everything in order to save my life. The radiation treatment was successful, and for the time being, I've been heightened I've been without pain for 8 months. During this trial, my faith in God was strengthened, my love for life was heightened, and my heart for the suffering was awakened. There's a comforting irony in the name of this scholarship, as I've been given a second chance to live and love abundantly through physical healing. The intent of my education is to give others the very same gift through emotional healing. Congratulate with me our third recipient, Jonathan King. Our third recipient is Tiffany Kirby, and we'll read directly from her application. I prefer to see my setbacks as opportunities, and my life has had many opportunities. My parents both had substance abuse issues. I attended at least 15 different schools and only finished the 8th grade when I dropped out and became pregnant at the age of 16. After the birth of my second child, I knew my life had to change, so I signed up for and passed my GED. As a single mother of two, I've reached out to others in need, volunteering at the food bank, helping other young mothers who found themselves in desperate situations. I am now working toward my degree in psychology so I can become a high school counselor, but one of my children is now ready to start college herself, and I'm worried about how I will afford her tuition and mine. Our fourth recipient of the Jerms McGraw Second Chance Scholarship is Tiffany Kirby. So again, thank you for being a part of this. Thank you for letting your stories be known and for serving others. And we hope that the scholarships are able to extend to you, help you in your goals, in your recovery, and reaching out to continue to help others. So again, thank you, and let's